Good morning, everybody. It is October the 24th, 2016, and everybody in Wichita is all excited about Halloween, which is rolling in right now. It's big around here for some reason, bigger than I've seen at other places that I've lived. So everybody's having a lot of fun with that. Pretty quiet weekend news-wise. A couple of big mergers popped up again. AT&T, Time Warner with direct satellite would make AT&T a pretty formidable entity to deal with, and they're already talk about I wonder how many billions of dollars to politicians it'll take for AT&T to get that deal approved. China bought another company, and when markets go flat, go sideways, there isn't a lot of news, then mergers happen. If there is no growth, companies look for strategic acquisitions or complementary acquisitions where they can get rid of overhead and administrative costs and maintain growth that way. So right now a lot of mergers are starting to happen. The market is sideways. It is a very slow growth economy. So for companies to meet their growth projections, they go to mergers. And what do mergers do? Any company that people own stock in that has merger potential, people don't sell their stock. That stock's removed from the sell side of the ledger. So it's what happens in these times. And the great big large companies are financing engines for the most part, or can be. And they've got plenty of money, and they got plenty of time, and they got a business plan, and they know how to manage large entities, and they get rid of overhead, administrative costs. They consolidate product lines. They pick up a new line that may complement what they're doing, or they eliminate a competitor that way, and everybody's happy. Overnight, little news out of Asia. The big news was out of Europe, where only France's services PMI was below forecast. France's manufacturing, Germany's manufacturing, the EU's manufacturing and service PMI numbers were higher than forecast. So mergers and PMIs are why the markets are higher right now. Doesn't explain the strength in Asia, but what the hell. We do have a little bit of news this morning. We have Chicago National Activity Index. Last month it was minus 0.55. Pretty good measurement on whether an economy is expanding or contracting. And then PMI manufacturing, 51.4. And this number could come in lower than forecast if recent economic releases are going to be our guide. Okay, we're in this resistance band at 12 to 16. We've got a P, we've got volume above time, so we're going to move our sell up to 15 to 19, sell 1. 23 to 27, sell 2. On the buy side, 5 to 9, buy 1. 29 to 30.01, buy 2. Okay. Looking at the bond is more volatile than the note, so we usually have 3 buy or sell zones, and we really concentrate on executing at the number 2 and number 3 in the bond because of that volatility. So right now, looks like number 1 level is resistance is 4 to 8. So 11 to 15, sell 1. 23, 27, sell 2. On the support side, definitely 24, 28. So first buy is 17 to 21. And then the second buy is 1 to 5. I'm giving it room to the downside because we are at resistance right now. And if resistance holds, it could sell. There's no news to drive the trading. It's pretty quiet overnight. Not a lot going on, but this contract can move. Okay, looking at gold. Still trying to sell. The top of resistance, this 75 has been really, really good resistance, and right now on the buy side, definitely a buyer below 1250, 1245 for sure. So 1240, 1245 is support, 1270, 1275 is resistance. Resistance held, so now we should probe support. So we've got this high volume number basically at 57, and then the other levels below. Yeah, I missed that one, Earl. I remembered that after I set it. But interesting combination from full service brokerage, kind of full service brokerage at Schwab to strictly internet. See how that works out. I have a feeling some people at Schwab are going to be fired over time. Okay, so right here on gold, our 68 to 70s worked out pretty well for us, so that's where we were this past weekend. 74, 76, L2. We've got the attractor down here is at 55, 57, but we got to get through 60 first, so 60, 62 by 1. I'm guessing we've got another $4 or $5 trading range facing us today. Not a lot of volatility, unless some large entity comes in and whacks the market on the opening. Having said that, gold's setups and patterns, our methodology really, really works well on gold. You take the crude oil overlay from Rich Genders and put it on gold. It will produce money. You'll like it. Okay, the euro is up a little bit today. Why? Because their economy is a little bit stronger than ours on a relative basis. All the manufacturing and service PMIs, except for France's service PMI, came in higher than forecast. So, pretty clean break in the market right up here, basically at 109.50. So, we've got a high here of 25. We got a London high the other day at 32. So 25 to 35, sell 1. And 50 to 60, sell 2. On the buy side, we have the London low at 109 even. That's buy 1. Or the last rotation down in London's low was 109 even. And then we'll put 75 to 85, buy 2. I think longer term the euro is headed lower. Because their central bank wants it lower so they can export goodies outside of the EU. Okay, you can see right now crude volume is moving lower. So we've got this block of volume down here in the 49.75.50 area. The high volume number is 49.79, then it drops down to 48.94, and a pretty low volume number here at 50. So we are headed lower, trying to sell. My guess is they're going to get stops below 50. So 50 would be support 1, and we got our high volume number down here at 80. So 79 to 50 is buy 1. Got this low over here off the chart at 49.25. We've got that low at 46, so I'm gonna make it 49.25. If we bust 49.75, we can go lower, but there will be some support just below 50. On the sell side, 50.50, 50.75, picking up this area right here. And then 51, 51.25 for sell 2. put a question mark at 49.50. That could be support. Excuse me. Looking at the E-mini. Trying to look at the E-mini. Right in front of me. Okay, you can see that this 65 area, 70, 65, 70, and you can see that basically 10 to 15 is pretty good support, and we're right in the middle. So we've got a round number at 2150. If we get through 2150, then we're back up to our 60, 65. If 2150 holds, then we've got a shot at 21 and a quarter, 2130. And that's where we find ourselves right now. Looking at the F1 screen, we'll fold this in. Got a potential move out of the middle right here in E period. So you can see right up here, that's 2160. If we get to 2150, looms pretty large. Then 2175, 73, 75, then 2183. And that would put us right back at contract highs. It's been my contention that we're going to see new contract highs if Hillary is deemed the winner, and they'll do their best to hold the market sideways to higher in the election, to do everything they can to help get Hillary elected, maintain the status quo. The game doesn't change if she's elected, and it won't. I think the Fed is on course to raise rates in December's once this year. Little face-saving maneuver, and it doesn't really affect it. Remember, Ray Dalio said the Fed can raise interest rates a quarter or half a point. They've raised it a quarter point and not affect things, but if they raise it more, cumulatively more than 8%, he thinks it'll send our economy into a severe recession, perhaps a depression. So that remains to be seen. That's his supposition. That's his best guess. Right now, if Hillary looks like she's getting a boost in the polls or needs a little bit more help, my guess is the Fed will step up to the plate and be a buyer. So 2150, then 2160 are the next two spots that we have to pay attention to. Do you wish you had that kind of money to be able to buy elections at this level? Times have changed. I remember people used to get excited about elections back in the 50s and 60s in the South because the liquor would flow. It would be everywhere, and you didn't have to worry about getting arrested. The sheriffs and the bootleggers were all on the same page, as were the politicians, so there was kind of a freedom from being arrested for drinking bootleg whiskey. But as soon as the election was over, things got back to normal, so the bootleggers and the sheriffs could business as usual. It's an unusual alliance, but it worked for both parties. Kind of like the DEA needs drug running from Mexico and other countries to maintain their existence these days. Okay, looking at F2, this 45, basically 45 to 50 is where resistance is. And we're at 44 right now. My guess is we might get stops above the overnight session high. So 45 is resistance, but let's just say 49.51. Let them get stops above 50 for sell 1, and then 54.56 for sell 2. Now sell 1 might be at 45. I'm going to try for a little bit higher, given the good news out of Europe on manufacturing PMI. The breakout came at 40, so we're at 44, so our first buy is 40 to 42. Second buy is 35.37. It's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted and running. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.